So welcome to first course of this advanced sketching course, and first course is nothing but the strokes. Yes, in fundamental of course we go into strokes at the very beginning level. Hope you are practicing those, and please continue that practice. Now we will go in detail importance of strokes on detailed projects. So now that practice is going on, now you have more control on your hand. Now how to apply those strokes depending on the object, so that we will cover in today's session. So today's now it is a theory session, and we will have a separate demo session also. But before that I want you to go through theory session also in very close, in very detailed manner. Please go through this video 2-3 times, so we'll get more information, and please don't forget to take out all the notes. So now we will see the importance of the strokes, and whatever tips that I gave you already, I hope you are following that. Please follow that at least for 1.5 or to 2 months. Please follow that. You will find difference in your sketching after that. So now we will see application of strokes as per the texture. So for this I took the example of animals. So for example, if you see on a screen, there is a one deer that I have drawn at a very early stage. So this deer have the skin on his body, so it is mixture of hair, made up of hairs. They have very lot of hairs on their body. Even we also have lot of hairs on our body. But the main difference is that the hair which we have at the top are different than the hair which we have on the hands. Right, so accordingly you have to plan your strokes also. So in this image, in this whatever you're seeing in screen, if you observe carefully, you observe his face carefully, and if you observe his ear carefully, over there you can find the strokes. So if you observe the strokes near to ear, you can find how I apply the strokes. So like that, you have to apply the stroke in such a manner that it will look like a hair. Yes, so whenever it is required, like that requirement is like that, then you have to apply like that. If you see closely the horns of that deer, then you will find that is smooth surface. So there you can't apply like a hair kind of strokes. There you have to apply different strokes, and there you have to do blending. So that we will go in detail in demo session, but here just understand the logic why you have to do that, the why parameter that I always emphasize on why. So please understand the why. Then how to do that we will see in the demo session, but just concentrate and understand the logic behind how to make a stroke. So I'm in this left corner, you can see I made the ear hairs with the help of strokes. Then again, if you observe his neck area, that deer neck area, there also lot of hairs are there, and I am flowing the strokes in such a manner that it will look like a part of his body. So whenever you apply strokes at that time, you have to make stroke in that moment so that it will be look like a part of the body. So for example, you are drawing these hairs if you are observing my image, my photo, and want to draw these strokes, then you will apply strokes like this. Right, because my hairs are flowing like this. So like that, the object which you are observing, so you have to first observe carefully how the hairs are flowing at every different stage, at different part of the body, and accordingly you have to apply the strokes. We will go in deep regarding this in next example. The horse example, if you observe carefully the neck of that hair, how the hairs are flowing, so the same way I apply the strokes. So if you closely observe the neck of that horse, how the hairs are flowing, and accordingly I apply the strokes, so that it will give the realistic look and you feel that the hairs are present over there. But now you just closely observe the mouth of his horse. Here you can't find more hairs, because horse don't have hairs on his cheeks and all that. So like that you have to observe, and accordingly you have to apply the strokes. So the strokes which I apply near to the cheek or mouth of the horse is different than the strokes which I use for the neck. So this logic you have to first understand. Then we will jump to the next example. In these birds also, if you observe the crow carefully, and if you observe the hairs near to the beak of that crow, you find different hairs are there. So how that application of the strokes is there. So you just observe these hairs. Then you observe the hairs which are below the beak, how that hairs are coming. So the hairs which are present below the beak is different than the above the beak. So like that, you have to first observe that, and accordingly you have to apply the strokes. Then if you see his feather, how the strokes, how the feathers hairs are there, so how they are flowing. So accordingly you have to change your strokes, and you have to achieve that parameters into your drawing. Even if you observe this side area, how the hairs are flowing, so these strokes are different, then the strokes are on back is different, then on the feather strokes are different. So like that, you have to plan your strokes, and you have to do the application of the strokes. So in next example, see this beautiful bird. This is a Philippine eagle. It is not normal eagle, it is Philippine eagle, found only in Philippines. How beautiful this bird is. And if you observe this bird very carefully, you will find this bird have different kind of hairs at every part of the body. If you observe now I am showing with the arrows, see, observe the hairs which are present at the head. Then near to his eyes, how the small very thin hairs are there. Then below the beak, how the hairs are there. Then on his shoulder, how the hairs are there. Then on his wings, how hairs are there. So like this, first you have to observe that, then only you can able to bring that information into your artwork. So that, and to bringing that information, accordingly you have to apply the strokes. That kind of strokes you have to apply. So I hope now you are understanding importance of strokes. So when you have the control over your hand, then only you can bring this small information into your artwork. So if you have stopped this practice of strokes, please I'm requesting you, don't stop it. Please do for 10-15 minutes. That is also enough, because you will last 1 month. You have practiced for 15-20 minutes. Now you can reduce the time, that is not a problem, but please practice that. That is very important, very essential practice, and you will enjoy, you will bring that importance into your artwork. Now we will go and observe the skin, how you make skin with the help of strokes. Because when you want to create a skin, at that time you can't apply the same stroke like you apply for the hairs. If you observe this hippopotamus, you just observe the area near to his eyes, above his eyes, then near to his nose, the area which is between two ears, eyes, like that. This area is different. So here you can't apply those same stroke which you apply for making a hairs, right? So here strokes application is different. Here you just want to make the color, bring the color, and then you have to just blend it with the neighboring surfaces. So this we will go deep into demo part, but just understand the logic behind it, what logic I want to say. So like this, you have to first observe what you want to make, and accordingly you have to apply the strokes. One more example we will see. If we see this seal, then if you observe the surface near to the nose, then the head which is part between the two eyes, then if you observe his very part which is very far away from that, how both surfaces are different. If you observe his mouth, just observe. When I observe, because to making this project I observed many images of the seal, and I come to know that the part which is near to mouth of the seal, it is always damaged, because seal generally stay near to the hard rocks and the sea. They do they eat fish near to the sea, but they just always stay near to the rock. So because of that, many times they hurt their mouth. So like that, you can find this black part and gray part is there. So this kind of information you have to bring, and to bring that information I use those kind of strokes. So like that, you have to use the strokes. So these strokes are completely different than the strokes which I use for the hairs. Even if you see the hairs of this seal, if you can observe that these hairs which seals have on his mouth are very thick, very thick. I observed for this observation, I did almost 4 or 5 seal picture observation, and I come to know the seal which has hairs on his mouth that are very thick, very thick. I think they will be like a needle. So that kind of, so here you can observe the hairs which I shown are so much thick. So like that you have to bring that information. Even same for the hippopotamus also. If you see near to his nose, how the hairs are, they are very less but they are very thick. So this type of observation you have to do, and this kind of strokes you have to apply in your artwork. The next very important observation from this monkey image, just observe this area. Just observe this area. In this area you can find the skin behind that hairs. So for that, what I did, I just first created the skin color, and then on that skin color I created the hairs. So like that you have to create. So for creating the skin I use different strokes, and for creating the hairs on the skin I use the different strokes. So in this area, if you observe, you can find cream color behind the hairs, that is of his skin, and above that the hairs are appearing. Even if you observe very closely, above his eyes the small hairs are there, which are more like our eye pupils. So those hairs are completely different than the hairs on the head. So you can observe this area, then you will come to know how those strokes are different than these strokes. And even the pencil which I use for making these strokes are different than these strokes. So like that, first you have to observe, then you have to bring the stroke. So just observe these strokes. Every hair is almost at a different direction. They don't have same, they don't are flowing in the same direction. Whereas the hairs which are above his head are flowing more lenient way in the same direction. But the hairs on his eyes, on both the eyes, are flowing on very different direction. So like that, this information you have to bring when you want to draw skin. The next example I will take you is the cars. The reason behind is that the car have very smooth surface. They don't have any texture. Very rarely they have the texture. Nowadays the cars with the textures are also coming, but generally the outer surfaces are very smooth for aerodynamics and all that. So for that you have to make the blend your strokes very smoothly, so that it will give the effect of the smooth surfaces. So for example, you like product design or product drawing and all that. If you are drawing any hair trimmer, or you are drawing any mixer, or you are drawing any plastic material, any product and all that, so you have to take care of that. You have to observe which material you are drawing. So for example, in cars, if you are drawing metals, then that metal surface will be very smooth. So accordingly you have to plan your strokes, and accordingly you have to do the blending so that it will give the feel of the metal body. If you are drawing the plastic, then plastic don't reflect more light as compared to metal I'm talking. So like that you have to do less reflections on the plastic surfaces, and for that you have to use a little bit different strokes and a little bit different blending. So like that you have to plan your strokes and application. So in this today's session we cover about the strokes and how to draw the hairs with the help of strokes, then the skin with the help of strokes. So various different types of strokes we cover in this session, and we also go on through the metals, how the metals and plastic we have to draw. So all this information I hope you have noted down into your notebook, and after this theory session please go through this video again and again try to capture some more points that you have missed in when you watched the first time, and then please try to observe that different pictures, and then jump to the next video. So I want you to do exercise. I want you to take one picture, any picture which you like, any cartoon, any product, any car or anything that you like, and you just observe that any animal, anything, just observe their texture and just imagine which kind of strokes you can apply there, and you can bring that effect. And I want you to try to draw with your mindset. Don't jump to demo first, just apply your mind, because I want you to think from your mind. You can learn skills, but try to make your mind also working. Don't just follow blindly others. Try to make your style statement also. So please, whatever come to your mind, just try to apply the strokes. Please help and blend it with any material, any medium. If you want to blend with cotton or with your finger, that is also fine. And I would be very much happy if you do that activity before watching the demo. Please wait for demo, don't rush for the demo. Please apply your mind. You just understand what thought process I put into this artwork. I want you to learn from your mind also, from your experience also. So please do this activity. So we will meet in the next session. Till the time, happy sketching and bye bye.